Well, hi everybody. I'm live and my name is Lasha Rayanko and you've reached the channel High Voltage and I feel absolutely ridiculous because there's nothing for you to see except my voice, which is probably going to be the most painful thing you'll ever have to listen to if you decide to stay. You know, I sort of walk to the beat of my own drum. And to be quite honest, I don't really want to be seen right now based on what I'm going to be talking about because it's very, very private. And some of what I'm going to share with you and any pauses of silence are just simply pauses of my reflection to ensure that I'm sharing the right information, giving you the right message. I wanted to talk about just life in general. And, you know, I'm going to share with you why I started the channel. And actually, I don't mind sitting here trying to figure out how to pop out the dashboard so you can actually see who I am, but you know who I am if you look at any other of my footage. All right, okay. So, again, my name is Lasha. The channel is called High Voltage. If anything is certain about this channel, it's 100% predictably unpredictable, somewhat like myself. Now, being predictably unpredictable isn't fun. Living a structured life is so much easier than living with chaos and drama, even though it might look like fun. If you're interested in, I do not ever like to look at myself like a victim in any way. I do not feel like a survivor in any way. When I think about world wars and what happened in 9/11 and during World War I and World War II, and I watch a lot of YouTube. The reason I started this channel, and we all project, if you watch any single solitary individual on YouTube, and I've been watching YouTube for so long, and I've subscribed to so many, top-notch channels from their inception. Now, the question is, what are you going to stay around and listen to? I want to explain why I started the channel. I want to talk about YouTube channels that really inspired me and YouTube channels that are underrated, YouTube channels that are hypocritical, and people are sick and tired, sick and tired, sick and tired, sick and tired, sick and tired. How many times have you ever woken up in the morning and said to yourself, oh man, I feel great today. I can't wait to get to work, get in my car, spend an hour driving there, and I can have my peaceful time before work. And I'm working for minimum wage. And my rent is, $2,300, and you're a husband or a mother. I'm not talking about myself, okay? Because first of all, I don't drive, I'm not married, I'm not a mother. So when I think about myself, the only thing that I can really offer folks is the experience that I had with my level of corruption and conspiracy during a medical malpractice at the Royal Victoria Hospital in Barrie, Ontario, Canada. That's why I started this channel. And if there's one person there, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And I will get to the meat and potatoes, but I do babble quite a bit when I begin these little explorations or subconscious coming to consciousness, because I find it very hard to stay silent in my own head. So when I come to YouTube, generally I'm focused, because you want to present yourself to the world in a real way, without a narrative or without an objective, without an intention, and I'm Canadian, and I studied and I worked in the States at a very, very large company that I'll leave unnamed, and I had a very high position in representation in Vancouver in Western Canada. And I learned a lot from American sales training and management and human resources and blah, 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 blah. And there's some other subjects that I'd like to talk about. So let me just first talk about projection and why I started the channel. I'm 54, and if you go to my shorts, you'll notice, oh, hi, Keith. Oh, Keith, thank you very much. Keith Wick Little, you are listening. Well, you know what, Keith? I'm sitting in my bathroom, and I'm sitting in my bathroom with the computer on the toilet, okay? And I'm sitting on the floor with no notes, and I'm talking to you, Keith. Keith, where are you from? And I'm glad you're listening. You don't want to share? That's okay. All right. The reason I started this channel, I started it March the 23rd of 2023. If you go to, it doesn't matter. If you go to my playlist, you'll notice that there's about almost 4,000 videos on this. I've basically, without knowing, been tracking my progress. You're from New Zealand. Are you really? Oh, I remember you. Wait a minute. Keith, you've been on before, right? On the lives? If I go over here, can I send you a heart or something? Does that say something? A heart? Thank you from the top of my heart from listening. And I will give this 100% of my all, because it doesn't matter to me how many people are subscribed or unsubscribed. If I can help one person, and if you've been listening this far, I'm thinking you're wanting to hear the story. If you have two devices, Keith, like a television, or if you have a laptop, if you go to my channel, you can see what I look like, right? And you can see all of the dancing, and I've done little things on Charlie Kirk with Trevor and blah, 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 blah. And I love this channel. And I started it as a non-donation charity. Now, I'm not at monetization level. I'm at a little over 1,050 people have taken the time out of their lives to subscribe to the channel, not unsubscribe, which is really, really nice. Oh, you have? Oh, I'm so glad. I hope you enjoy them. I sort of look at my story as a positive thing because, okay, I'll just get to the punchline here. In October the 28th of 2017, and Keith, if you've seen my videos, you've heard this before, but this is going to segue into another reason about being sick and tired and sick and tired. I'm sick and tired of talking about this, to be honest with you, but I can't stress how strenuous and the endurance that it took this little human being. And I don't matter at all in the big scheme of things. Do any of us? I don't know. I feel some days that I'm losing faith. Some days I feel like I'm not losing faith. I guess I came on here tonight to see how everybody else was feeling about life right now too. What's that, Keith? Yes, the medical stuff. Keith, I'm so tired of feeling sick and tired. I could cry right now, and I won't, because you know why? You're here. And I I've always been interested to find out more about the people that are watching the little videos I put up, because if it wasn't for all of you participating and taking the time, I no, it's okay. I this is good for me. I don't feel sorry for myself. I don't feel victimized. I have figured out strategies. Do you remember, Keith, I was telling you about the job that I started not too long ago, just maybe about 8 weeks ago? It's not working out, and it wasn't for me. And I really wanted it to be for me, and it's not for me. And I thought to myself, what can I do? Yeah, it's not for me, Keith. You know, I'm sorry. I really am. It's a family business. You know, you've got a mother, my manager, 25 years old. I'm 54. My manager's 25. The father works there, the mother works there, the uncles work there. It's a fast food job, okay? So in essence, this company makes money by going to Costco, um, I have to take plastic French fry bags, weigh them, and then make sure 55 ounces go into one Ziploc bag. So that's 5 orders of fries. Then I have to make one order of fries, which is 11 ounces. So from 10 to 11, I stand there and I take plastic from the box, and then I put it into another piece of plastic and weigh it. But if you take 2 handfuls out, it's 55 fucking ounces. But no, it can't be done that way. If it was done that way, it would save a hell of a lot more time. Do you think that kids care if their chicken fingers from Costco were sitting in a hot heater for 1 minute? No. Like, I'm talking about little control things like, Manager X, I think it's time for us to put down another French fry. No, not yet. And I'm thinking, okay, you silly, silly, silly decision maker. And then 3 seconds later, she would say to me, you can put them in now. And I'm talking about like a condescending voice. It's not the work. I mean, when I work, I do not stop moving. If you go to any of my work videos when I worked at Yella's, you will see how hard I work. My work ethic is not an issue. That's the people micromanage people if they don't trust them. I'm also older than everybody else. I'm even older than the mother and father, honestly. And but what kills me about it, Keith, I have a lot of endurance. A lot of endurance. I have to put 2 pairs of tights on, leather pants, my helmet, my gloves, my knee pads, to go on my scooter, which goes 42 miles an hour, to get to work and then to get home for 3 hours to 4 hours a day, 4 days a week. I mean, that's not going to work. So I'm sick and tired in reference to the jobs that I'm receiving. And I'm sick and tired because it's the surgeon that made this decision not to say anything, and there's a psychopath working at a hospital. And Keith, I don't know how to let it go. I put up a petition on change.org. I've tried building this as a non-donation charity to bring awareness. And the reason I put up all of those dancing is, and they're 1 minute dances, mind you. So if you look at the outfits that I wear and how many dances I do, they're all impromptu. I never choreograph anything. I never choreograph what I'm going to do on this channel. And I'm thinking to myself, Keith, do I have anything to offer out in YouTube land where I could actually make a living and help people? Sorry, Keith, I'm reading all of your things. New Zealand. No, I need to send you. I wish I could see what you look like, you know? Um, uh, the job's not for me because I'm 54. It's not enough hours. It's not enough money. It's very tedious. They micromanage people they don't trust. And because I'm such an open person because of what happened to me, I can't explain that to everybody I meet, right? So when I start a job and I go to work, I'm very chatty when I first go to work, right? And I made a huge mistake by associating a teenager with being okay, talking about something she wasn't. And that was inappropriate of myself, which I took responsibility for. And she didn't come to me and tell me. She told the manager. It's just the people, the nuances with people, daily interactions, day to day. Oh, I'm ugly like a bruised apple. Keith, why on earth would you say that? Why would you even say, I don't like you saying that about yourself? You know why? You need to love yourself the way I need to. And people that are alike stick around people they like. I like to be around people that I feel 100% safe with. And when you're violated like that, Keith, I am really trying to think of a theme on this channel where I could do something fun. I was told my whole life I was ugly by your parents. Wow, that's very abusive and very traumatizing. Very traumatizing. And how, Keith, um, can I ask you something? I can talk about trauma all day, and we can do a one-on-one Zoom if you like, or on Messenger. If you ever want to call me on Messenger, you can call me on Messenger through Facebook. I don't mind that at all. They did more than that, I'm sure. Fudge. I understand. I want to tell you something. Um, I'm not a journalist, and I'm not an intellectual prowess type person. Intellectual. What Cheer Denise is actually one of my favorite. Let's talk about some positive things. Sorry, I only use the YouTube. Oh, it's just safer. Yeah, I understand. I understand. Um, yeah, strategies for overcoming low self-esteem. Well, I did something really stupid to overcome low self esteem after the medical malpractice, the year in a wheelchair, 4 corrective surgeries later, between, 46 years old and 50, and now I'm 54. You know, 8 years of my life on October the 28th were taken from me, but I will not fall victim to it, because that man, just like your parents, treated you like you were subhuman, right? Anybody who tells their child that they are ugly and worthless or a piece of crap or whatever is a parent that shouldn't have had children. And this is why I believe in a woman. Yes, it's traumatizing. And, just because I don't consider myself a survivor, I think it's because I'm so numb, and I get so numb and feel nothing. Because if I were to let myself feel everything, I would lose my mind. I would have to be mopped off the floor. I'd be, no, I know, no, I wouldn't. But I understand where you're coming from. It's abuse. You survive it. I did survive the lie and the cover up at the hospital. Holes in my knees and everything. I got those frickin' ballet shoes. They arrived from Amazon on December the 18th of 2024, and I'm so damn proud of myself. I really am. But I want to do something meaningful, and this is an absolute babbling stream, but I really wanted to do something meaningful with my life. Um, People are important to me. Do you remember my dog, Keith? Do you remember my dog? I didn't survive my ordeal. I'm proud of you, though. May I ask you, Keith, why didn't, when you say you didn't survive your ordeal, what does that mean? Because you're here and you're alive. So when you say you didn't survive, is it coping mechanisms? Is it cognitive? You know what, Keith? I did a live about 4 days ago about anxiety. And if you go under lives, the picture is of a brain. And I explain in that video how to manage anxiety. So that might be a good one for you to watch. But what I don't understand, and if you don't want to put this, do you know what? Everything that you write here, I do not, it doesn't come up on the lives, the chats. But if you ever wanted to send me a private email, and if you honest to God wanted to talk, I love writing people. And people write me, not all the time, but sometimes. And, you know, I don't like to hear when somebody's in pain. I know what that's like. I think everybody does. It just depends on how open people are to talk about what's going on. But one of the things I was going to say about surviving an ordeal, you did survive that. All right, because you're here and you're listening because you know that I went through something. And am I on track if I'm saying that when you come to these lives or listen, you don't feel as alone? Because based on everything that you've said about yourself, I don't believe it. Because if you're listening to me, then you're a nice person, because I'm a nice person. And I wouldn't hurt anybody on purpose ever. I was going to talk about more about stuff, but what I want to give you and what I want you to leave with today, Keith, is, I'm pretty sure that job isn't going to work out, if you understand what I'm saying without me saying it. Are you 46? You've never been in a relationship. You don't. I understand. Oh my gosh. Wow. Wow. You know what, Keith? Am I right in saying you don't know how to be in a relationship because you had some other trauma as a child by maybe the right sex, the opposite sex? That can be very confusing. And I tried to stay in a relationship with somebody who was totally emotionally unavailable, and I killed myself I thought that I was trying to save him, but I was really trying to save myself. And the only time we can save ourselves and allow ourselves to receive love and think we're worthy of love, if you can take anything from me today, go in the mirror today, stare at yourself, pull out any paraphernalia that you've ever been proud of any accomplishment in your life, even if it was taking a shower yesterday, and you start writing down every positive thing. Anytime a negative thought comes to your head, Keith, go to your journal and say no. You write down that negative word and you cross it out and you flip it into a positive. I understand what you're saying. And you know what really, really makes me sad? God plays little jokes on us. I'm just going to say it. I don't think that Charlie Kirk's assassination, in my opinion, was by that Tyler. Now, before I go on to that, it is about empathy. And when empathy is forced, I remember telling a family member, I was bitten and bitten and bitten and bitten and bitten and bitten and bitten by my own validity, my own fault, because I allowed myself to stay in bad relationships. And then when that doctor treated me like a subhuman by not saying that he made a mistake, and he's still practicing and I'm still dealing with this, I've had to let him go. And I don't want you to feel this way about yourself. And I mean that. Write it out. If you want to, write it to me. I delete it. I don't share anything anybody writes me. I don't even tell Trevor, and Trevor even knows that, and he doesn't tell me either. Trevor might be 16 years old, but he's very professional. And I wish I could be as professional in front of people as I can be in speaking with you. Well, you know what, Keith? The type of work that I want to go into is exactly this type of work. And I'm an excellent counselor, and I'll make you a deal. If we talk or email 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and we'll try it for 2 weeks, but it has to be consistent, I will teach you how to journal and how to teach yourself to feel positive about yourself. You don't just wake up and say, hey, I want to be positive. You have to think about what engages you in life. If you have drug problems or alcohol problems, you know how hard that is to seek help for and how humiliating it is to the person. But really, at the end of the day, the piano's not going to fall out of the sky. We're not going to, day by day by day. Well, that's really kind of you. Oh, you don't? I did. Very badly. Yeah. When I was in in the wheelchair beyond, and even to this day, I need to take medicines to keep the pain away, or I wouldn't be able to walk, work, dance, anything. And they are, oh gosh, a quarter of what I used to take. If you think of a cup of medication that you have to take, now it's a quarter. And you move, I know though, and it's interesting. Thank you for saying that. And I, 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 I'm going to tell you, you know what, Keith, I was anorexic from the time I was 9 till about 16, 17. And that's a severe body dysmorphia, mental health issue. And I got to the point where I was 70 pounds and I got down to 69 pounds. And I danced when I was 9 and then 10 And then by 13, I couldn't even dance anymore because I was too weak. Um, and I had to have a blood transfusion. And it was 6 months after they started testing blood for AIDS, which is a way back. And I remember sitting at the hospital for 8 hours with this blood going into my arm. And I remember, because my platelets were, if I cut myself, I would have bled to death. There was no blood to, like, I could have died. I would have died. And the hematologist said, if you don't eat, you're going to die. And so I did eat. And Karen Carpenter, yes. And so it was a terrible disease, but I got through it. Candace Owens suffered from anorexia. The Charlie Kirk situation, when I think about anorexia now, from the interviews that I've heard from Andrew Gold, Heretics, and from James English, Joe Rogan, in this society now, they're actually teaching gender identity in schools, which I think Trump stopped that, which is a good idea. Oh, Keith, speaking of Candace Owens, what I was going to say is anytime anybody listens to anything on YouTube, be very, very careful that you're not too influenced by somebody. I remember watching Cheer Denise. She's at, oh gosh, if she has 138 quote unquote subscribers, there must be 300,000 to 500,000 people that watch her, because she started her channel the same time I did. I wanted to start reading books. I started getting hooked on her channel, and because my self-esteem was so low, she became my fixation, and it's not healthy. And then she would say things that she was a Christian and all of this, but she was very hypocritical, but she's still the best damn storyteller ever. Candace Owens speaks in riddles. Brittany, but I told Cheer Denise when she was at 900 people listening to her, I said, your channel is going to blow up and you'll be able to quit your teaching job. Man, I was right. I can spot talent. That's why I'm a very good manager. I know who to put with who in different environments. I'm kind of like a man too, because I don't have a boyfriend. I'm not married. I've been single for years. I'm not gay. I guess I'm just straight. Is that the word? Is that am I allowed to say that now, or what? I'm a she. I don't understand all of that, to be honest. The transgender thing, the only thing that bothers me about transgender is when I listen to interviews and people retransition back to their own sex after the surgical damage is done. And that is just disgusting to me. Having a woman's breasts gone for cancer, that's one thing, because they do try to keep the sensation in the breast. But to remove your entire breast as a woman, you're moving out sexual sensation, feelings, like sexual feelings. Your breasts are there for a purpose. Every male surgery I've heard of, from male to female, has caused men nothing but absolute pain and suicide. And I really don't want people to be in pain. And I love animals. And my goal was to start monetizing and share. And I've done that already. And it wasn't, a lot of people, actually, nobody ever asked me that. Why did I say a lot of people? That's not true. Oh, a couple of people said when I first started my channel, you started the channel because you're trying to make money, right? No. I just came on here because I like to watch videos of myself. No. Now, Charlie Kirk. Keith, if you want a really good laugh, type in, oh gosh, Keith, just wait 1 minute. I'm getting the phone from my mother so you can listen to this. Just hang on one sec. Mother, I need to borrow your phone. I'm on the line right now. I'm talking to Keith. Just 1 sec. Who? Keith. You've never met Keith. Keith, when did you subscribe to the channel? Maybe you can innovate. What ideas does Trevor have? You know what, Keith? I don't really know. All I know is that everybody on YouTube is piggybacking off of each other, right? So, oh, and Brittany from the Royal News Network. I was watching Dan Wooden last night, and when she was at 10,000 subscribers, Keith, I said, Brittany, I said, you are going to grow. And I said, I bet you in a year and a half you're on Dan Wooden. And she is. I swear. That's why I take pictures of my comments, eh? Oh, you subscribed months ago? Well, you know what? That stands for a party. Let's see. Do we need to party this early in the morning? Party. Okay, are you ready to hear something really, really funny, Keith? This is absolutely hysterical. Okay, ready? Charlie Kirk's assassination by the comedian. Oh, this guy. Okay, listen to this. Are you ready? Okay.
Just got my first
Keith,
paycheck and
everything he said is exactly what I thought. Okay, listen to this. Listen to this. Okay, ready?
Like, I made messed up jokes. My friends made way more messed up jokes because it was a school here. Okay, I'm going to be vulnerable with you guys. I was terrified when I saw that. I saw
Charlie
if
Kirk.
that can happen to him, could it happen to me? I say some inflammatory things sometimes. I was just talking about Tylenol earlier.
Tylenol. Get it? Yeah, Patsy. Exactly. Listen, so, Keith, you'll love this.
And so I was scared. I shut down. I freaked out. I honestly did not even want to leave the house. And, I felt like I had no one to talk to, and I felt so alone and so in my head. But thankfully, within about 36 hours, the governor of Utah came out and said, we got him. And I finally relaxed, and I was like, thank God, we're back. We're back. We are so back. Oh, my God, they got the guy. They got the guy. I want to give a special shout out to the FBI.
Wait. You know what he's referring to, Keith? He's referring to when he said, I'd like to thank the FBI and the government and the first responders. He's talking about Erika Kirk's speech. What? How many days after Charlie Kirk passed? Okay. Listen to this. Can you hear? Wait, Keith, can you hear it okay? Can you hear this okay?
And, of course, special shout out to Kash Patel.
Kash Patel.
Bring justice to this case. There was a killer on the loose for a little while. But they got him. Guys, why are you not excited? They got him. Yes. Have faith in the system. The system works, okay? Yes, just get back to work. Keep paying your taxes. It'll go directly to Israel. It's going to be totally fine, man. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You can hear it? Okay.
Why are you not laughing, my love?
I'm taking you outside, Keith. Uh-oh. One sec, Keith. One sec.
The truth is, the killer is still on the loose, and you should be terrified and angry.
Here it is.
These motherfuckers who are lying to you, okay? They are lying to you. They're lying through their teeth.
No.
Okay? And they're doing it so deliberately and so sloppily. And back to work. And to be honest,
Oh, sorry, Keith. 1 sec. Do you want me to get right to the punchline? Okay, here we go. Sorry, Keith. 1 sec. I lost it. Shoot. Charlie Kirk, the parody stand-up. Here it is. And it's called Solving Charlie Kirk's Murder. And it's by this comedian.
To be honest,
wait,
I think
it's by this comedian, Sammy Obeid. So I'll write it in here, and I'll play some of it. If this gets a copyright, it doesn't matter to me anyways. But it's Sammy Obeid, and it's gotten about 523,000 views. And yeah, he has 473,000 subscribers, which probably means there's about 800,000 people that watch, right? Yeah, okay, I'll keep going. It's actually quite funny.
it's because so many people
Not
hate
in
Charlie
a not
Kirk.
in a bad way, but he not that I
It's like,
no wait
we'll let
let
this
me.
one slide. Like,
It's not funny in reference to what happened to Charlie Kirk. It's absolutely ridiculous how it's being handled. And Erika Kirk went from an employee to the owner of the company in 4 years. But I want you to listen to this if you want to.
no. It doesn't matter if you hate it or love the guy. Like, something happened here, and we deserve answers.
Yes.
Okay, we deserve answers. Unfortunately, you came to a comedy show where you will undoubtedly get more answers than from your government directly. Because unlike the government, I actually go on TikTok and consume information. I don't just own and censor TikTok. I actually go on TikTok. And seriously, a lot of people don't like hearing this, but this is very likely going to be the assassination of our life. In the sense that, no, I'm sure a couple of you were alive for JFK. Bless you, boomers, okay? Bless you, boomers. Obviously, JFK and MLK, these people meant more to a lot more people than Charlie Kirk did, but you have to understand, these things were not shown to us live on
okay, you
social
do?
media.
All right.
There were
Let me get
millions
to
of
the
people
punchline
watching
then.
when
Let
it
me get to the
happened.
punchline. Let me get to the
This
punchline
many
of what he says.
It was just such a coincidence.
Here's the punchline, okay?
Anytime they talking about shootings, Charlie
When he talked about listening to Erika,
praying for Charlie Kirk, he tagged Charlie Kirk for some reason. That was really weird. Videos of Charlie in his last moments. There's many things. I still, as a good person, as a naive, like a 2-year-old child, solve a murder. You know. Well, even if they didn't kill Charlie Kirk, they still deserve the allegation anyway. You know what I mean?
he was talking, okay, here's the punchline. Just, it's 4 minutes.
Where a bunch of children went missing.
Okay.
So much.
Erika Kirk and her mother started a foundation in Romania. Okay? Listen to this.
So, and some people say some of them ended up in Israel. I don't know. I mean, maybe. I don't know. I'm not going to spread that rumor without the information. But what has been allegedly confirmed is that she was involved with an orphanage in Romania where children went missing. So many that they had to shut down operations, and they are now banned from Romania. Do you know how f***ed up you got to be banned from? Andrew Tate is mayor of Romania. You got to be banned from Romania. you gotta lose a lot of kids. Okay? And this was at a time when she was working with Trump, and it was also at a time when Jeffrey Epstein was still active. So you do whatever you want with that. I'm just saying, that's weird, okay? But she was born into a U.S. government family, worked with Trump, knew Trump. You saw the hug that they had at the
Oh, I
memorial.
thought that hug was so weird. Do you know what? I thought it was just me. And do you know what, Keith? When I watched Erika Kirk and Donald Trump hugging, I just I thought, what is going on? It was more like a radical convention than a memorial representing Charlie. I didn't even know who Charlie Kirk was until he passed away. And it's a loss. He was a shooting star. Like him or love him, it doesn't matter. Nobody becomes that successful, and I don't know, but here's the end of it.
And she now owns Turning Point USA. We'll see. I mean, if I'm wrong, burn me in hell. But she's now taking over. We know that she's taking over Turning Point USA. She's already making content. Okay. And here's what I find the craziest. When she met Charlie Kirk, it was not on a dating app. It was not at a bar. It was at a job interview. She went in to interview for a position at Turning Point USA. That's how she met Charlie Kirk. She showed up for an interview. They hit it off. He fell in love immediately. They got married in a matter of months. Yeah. And now she owns Turning Point USA a couple years later. They got married in 2021. Barely 4 years later, she owns Turning Point USA. So I'm saying you can make all the connections you want, okay? But just if you look at the whole thing, it starts not with romance or love, but it starts with her applying for a job and ends with her getting a promotion. So you can look at that however you want, okay? I'm just pointing out coincidences, which I don't believe in. I already told you that. The thing is that sometimes you need to take the red pill and go down the rabbit hole because your government's not going to do it for you, okay? The media is not going to do it for you. ABC is out there like, was Tyler into trans people? You know what I mean? Like they're still out there like trying to figure out a fake story, okay? And if personally, like I find all this absolutely absurd. I'm going crazy, okay? Now, just to bring it back home, if you want some crazy, wild conspiracy stuff, this is the part that...
You know what else, Keith? And whoever else is watching, thank you so much. Did you know that the government put out something like $1 million for or 100,000, something like that, for anybody who had knowledge of who the killer was? Now, just the basic footage that I watched, I thought this person didn't do it. I just had that gut instinct. And my first thought was it was Trump, it was a setup, or it was the wife, because 60% between deaths and quote unquote unaliving your partner, do you know that something like 10% of husbands will unalive their wives, 6% will unalive their husbands, but 60% of women will hire somebody else to do it for them. Now listen to what he says. And comedians, to me, are very smart.
That is crazy. This murder apparently was almost entirely predicted in a movie from 1998.
Listen to this.
Called Snake Eyes with Nick Cage.
Nicolas Cage.
Yeah, no. Look at these TikToks. It's insane. I'll tell you, and you're not to believe this either. So you're gonna have to look it up too. But Wikipedia confirmed everything, okay? A movie from 1998 called Snake Eyes with Nick Cage. The plot of the movie is a man named Charles Kirkland Charles Kirkland is murdered in front of a crowd of people. He's shot in the neck, exactly like Charlie Kirk, at an event. There was also a boxing match where the boxer was named Tyler the Executioner. Even crazier, the date that happened in the movie was September 10th. You're like, there's no way. Look it the fuck up. Yes, go, seriously. It's a movie called Snake Eyes. On September 10th, guy named Charles Kirkland shot in the neck at an event where the guy's named Tyler the Executioner. Okay? And I'll even add some more irony that you won't find in these TikTok videos, okay? The movie was shot at Trump Tower.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding you. It's an inside job. We're all stoned out of our minds. All of our moms were taking Tylenol and weed and Molly and Percocet.
You're not watching this video.
Oh, stop. You just interrupted. It's a commercial. Here's the end of it, Pete. And whoever else is watching, thank you so much. Yeah. Oh, yeah. The Pentagon has funded movies for Hollywood for years.
On my own.
They're all
the
connected.
movie is called Snake Eyes. Snake Eyes is when you roll 2 ones individually, right? What is the probability of that? 1/6 times 1/6 multiply 1/36, 30/6. Which is also my age. I looked it up because I wanted to Wikipedia to make sure I was not
Wikipedia.
Well, that edible had already kicked in, but I wanted to make sure it was me and not the edible. And I looked it up, and that all of that stuff, the movie, 100%, it's all happened in the movie. You can watch the movie. And so I wanted to know who kills the guy Charles Kirkland. So I looked that up, and this is how you know the movie's from the 90s. The sniper was a Palestinian terrorist. Gotta miss the 90s, man. Back when we actually had representation in movies, you know? It wasn't a good kind, but it was there. The guy who played him wasn't even Palestinian, obviously. It was like a half Latin guy. He was just like, hey, I'll be your Palestinian terrorist. And the Palestinian terrorist sniped Charles Kirkland because Charles Kirkland was working for the Pentagon on a big arms deal selling weapons to Israel. That was the one detail in the movie where I'm like, I think it's, but.
Yeah, Iran-Contra.
So even in that movie, it's about Israel. Even in that movie, it's about Israel. And the plot, sorry to spoiler, but the plot basically, Nicolas Cage later finds out that his friend who works for the government was on the inside of it. He hired a Palestinian sniper who was willing to be the fall guy and basically jihad himself. But it was really his friend Kevin who worked for the Pentagon who is in on the whole thing and killed Charles Kirkland. So even in that movie, it's an inside job. So wake the up.
Oh, yeah.
Wake the up. And really, this whole situation has taught me so much about myself and humanity. You know, because I was not a fan of Charlie Kirk. I saw so many videos of him that I just absolutely was like, why are you saying that, man? That's so messed up. Like, why do you hate Muslims so much, dude? Like, Muslims, they believe in Jesus. They believe Jesus was a prophet. Like, they're so friendly with Christians. Like, why do you hate them so much? Like, why do you blame black people for everything, man? Like, can't you just be like, these shootings are bad. We need to, figure them out and being like, well, black people, but, can't you debate anybody older than 15, man?
You know what's interesting about that? Is, do you think that Donald Trump would let Charlie Kirk get that popular over his sons? Yes, the Iran-Contra deal, and that went on during the Reagan administration. And it went on and on and on and on and on. Did you ever see that movie? Oh, I'm going to look it up, right? No, we need to finish listening to this. Okay, one sec.
I respected his chops as a debater. I just wish he used.
Oh, they were trying to get to the youth, is what I'm saying, because the next people that are going to run for president will probably be Ivanka or Eric or the other one or Barron. You mark my words, Barron Trump will be president one day. Mark my words. I call it. Okay, Keith, I will see you later, and you have a really good night or rest of the day, and I'm just going to continue playing this if anybody else comes along. Oh, are you still there? Oh, okay, sorry about that. All right, here's the punchline at the end, and then I will let you go. Ready?
You know? And so I definitely did not like this guy, but after seeing this and after seeing how he was turning, I found my humanity, and I found my appreciation even for people I completely disagree with, because nobody deserves that. Nobody, not only does nobody deserve to be murdered, but nobody deserves to be murdered and lied about it. You know what I'm saying? And I know nobody agrees with me because you're in San Francisco. I get it. But I found my own humanity, because this whole time I hated Charlie Kirk and all the things he said. But now I'm like one of the only people trying to solve his murder. You know what I mean? So I'm trying, dude. I'm trying, man. You could say I'm at a turning point. I wrote all this material in 1998.
Morning.
Morning.
You look cozy.
I am. You're too sweet.
My husband thought I was way.
Thank you, Keith. You know what? I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this comedic piece up on a video and do like a reaction video, because it is really funny, but it's not funny in the way that it's not funny in terms of Charlie Kirk's death, the way he exposes the government's lies, and when Erika Kirk, she had that orphanage in Romania, and it got shut down because children were going missing. And do you know what? It could be hard. Yes, but it could attract bad attention too. Very true. But you know what? In Romania, you know what this comedian said? Erika, whatever her maiden name was, and the mother are not allowed back in Romania again. And this comic said, Andrew Tate, he's the mayor of Romania. And Erika Kirk can't go back there? I mean, it was hilarious. Like, hilarious. Yes, but it could. Romanian children going missing, and I know. I mean, there's so many connections here. You know what? I should put the link to this video in the explanation. You're a trooper for hanging in, Keith. You made my morning. Thank you very much. I hope you take some of my advice, writing things down, bringing things out that are tangible, that you can touch, feel, accomplishments you've attained in your life. You've got to start flipping all the negative into the positive, because you are clearly a kind, intelligent human being. And I'm very, very lucky, and we're lucky to have you here. So I'm going to wrap it up, welcoming, respecting aspects of people's societies. Well, societies give me anxiety. Okay, Keith, I'm sending you serious, positive vibes. Okay? And thank you again for watching. Oh, thanks, Keith. Take care. I'm going to end it now. Bye, friend. We are acquaintance internet friends. It's cool. I will talk to you soon.